Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. I hope you all are off to a fabulous start to your day. The weather, not so fabulous, but not that it wasn't expected, right? We've talked a lot about the weather here over the past few days, being a little bit on the gloomier side heading into the weekend and Halloween. And actually, as we take our graphics full screen, you can surely see this Monroe, Dallas, Kannapolis. You can see lots of cloud cover and even those areas of light drizzle this morning. A lot of that has started to wrap up. However, we are going to see the opportunity for a little bit more of this rain as we head toward the second half of your Sunday. So, slick roads, definitely a possibility still. Fog is surely abundant across the area, too. Fog is inherently just low cloud cover. But the fog on a day like today, because we're seeing more clouds streaming in, can get a little bit more aggressive here. So you can see Jefferson right now, that's up in parts of Ashe County, recording really dense fog. You can see all across the mountains, the foothills, and even here in Mecklenburg County. In fact, most areas west of 77, even over toward Asheville area, are seeing that fog, and that'll likely continue as the clouds do begin to stream in. And you can actually see that here from our satellite and radar product, the clouds on especially the western half of our viewing area continuing to stream in. I'm going to zoom in here to this patch of a little bit of light rain here that's been working its way through Tennessee. This light rain is moving to the west and northwest, or the east and northeast, that is, from the west and southwest. And it is likely going to clip at least some northern portions of Ashwaubenon and Avery counties here, likely within the next hour. So be prepared for a little bit of light rain there. Otherwise, we are mostly dry across the area so far, other than that drizzle this morning. It's not until we get this energy coming in from the southwest later on tonight and into tomorrow that we really see a better chance for some rain. And what's interesting is it does look like there's going to be kind of two pieces of energy are going to kind of pop off from each other and bring in that first round of rain, likely as the warm front lifts north, with that secondary round once the cold front kind of fills in behind it. So this is going to be a multiple round situation as we get closer to Monday. Now, of course, it also depends on when you're trick or treating, right? If this is going to impact you locally, because a lot of neighborhoods, things like that, they do some of those trick or treating plans over the weekend versus on Monday night. But for those of you who are going to be trick or treating on Monday, this is going to have an impact, although things are looking a little bit better. I'll get to that in just a second. So here's your Sunday forecast. You can see lots of clouds, highs in the low 60s, and we are going to bring in that small chance of rain as we get closer to this afternoon and evening. Now, as we get closer to Monday, we're also not just looking at the chance for some rain, but we're also thinking the chance for some thunderstorms. Now, this is kind of hard to explain, so I'm going to try to break it down the easiest way possible. Um, During the summertime, when we have those chance of storms every single day, that is typically referred to as a general thunderstorm. What I mean by that is that the thunderstorm itself stays below severe criteria. So you don't have 1 inch hail, you don't have winds in excess of 58 miles an hour, and you don't have a tornado on the ground. Those are the three criteria for severe thunderstorms. Widespread severe is typically known as across the board. Now, a general thunderstorm risk becomes less common the closer we get to the fall season and eventually the winter season, which is why, right, people get so excited sometimes about thunder snow because it's a little bit less likely. The reason why, actually, I had a viewer ask me this the other day when I was at Chuck E. Cheese for their Halloween costume contest that I judged. If you were asking me why we see a lesser threat for thunderstorms during the winter and the fall, well, one of the big reasons why is during the summer, we get the daytime heating, all of that instability, and boom, anything that develops, right, can become strong or even severe. But during the fall, we are cooler. The atmosphere is not as unstable. We don't have as much humidity and not as much moisture in the atmosphere. And that's a big reason why. Oftentimes, we have a situation like this when we get thunderstorms is when we have a cold front or a storm system moving through. Now, this cold front did have the history of producing some severe weather across the deep south, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, even toward the Florida Panhandle. So we will be watching for any changes, but things have been pretty consistent that it's not going to be strong storm activity. So the rest of your Sunday, you can see the small chance of rain. Things are working their way through as we get closer to this evening. But again, it's tomorrow morning that we really start to see a change. And I mentioned this in our newscast this morning, but there's been one I think, big difference between yesterday than today that I've noticed. Models early, even earlier this week, even Friday, I mean, really even Saturday and this morning, have flip flopped a lot. But this trend, I've kind of noticed it slowly and slowly. So we're going to see if it can hold on. And we'll see if, of course, this KJ comes in this afternoon and sees the general trends to see if this will stick around. Things are trending a little bit later. And why this is a good thing is that originally yesterday, when I showed you future casts in the morning show, we had an early morning chance for rain around, let's say, 6 a.m. It was done by the afternoon, so then the second round came in around, let's say, 6 p.m. But now it's trending a little bit later. This first round doesn't look to really arrive for areas north and west of Charlotte until closer to about 8 and 9 a.m. So because of that, because of this slower arrival of round number one of rain and storms, that means that likely the second round of rain and storms will be a little bit later. So that's good news for trick-or-treaters. It's not good news for the chance for thunderstorms, because if we get more sunshine mixing in and less rain during this peak warming times of the afternoon, it can mean a better chance for those storms to become a little bit more scattered. I don't think it really is going to bump up the severe potential, but the storms could become a little more scattered. So here we are, even, I mean, honestly, this is a run just coming in and things are even a little bit later than before. So there we are around the late morning. Here's lunchtime and afterward. So that we're still working round number one really through the area. And so what that means is that the second round, right, will start later too. So here's 5 o'clock. You can see we are going to see some drying periods, times of drier weather between 5, 6, 7. Here, I paused this at 7 o'clock. I mean, look, that looks pretty good. Now, again, we're not going to be completely dry for everyone at any point tomorrow just because of the nature of scattered rain. But I mean, that's not the worst I've ever seen on Futurecast here by 6 and 7. And then I pause this again at 9 to show you here comes that second round. So again, while let's say round number one and two were at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. yesterday, let's say they've shifted about 3 hours or so later. That means that round number one, 9 a.m., which means round number two, hopefully closer to 9. And of course, all of this forecast is specifically talking about Charlotte and across most of the Piedmont. We know the mountains and foothills are going to see that areas of rain and storms much earlier. And then it looks like this second round actually does not impact those areas up toward I-40. It's mainly the Piedmont and area south. Because I mean, look at this 11 o'clock areas of rain still around. So if we continue to see these trends to later and later rain chances, again, that'll be good for trick-or-treaters, but it could mean more opportunities for showers and storms. So this morning we had some morning drizzle. This afternoon we have some showers in the afternoon and evening. And then tomorrow it's kind of an off and on for much of the day event with those two multiple rounds of rain. Because of the later start to the later start to the rain, that means, of course, a later end. So we could see a few lingering showers into Tuesday, but still we're pretty consistent in terms of weather for most of this week. That will be in the low to mid 70s for highs most days, overnight lows in the upper 40s and lower 50s, and more sunshine than what we definitely saw this weekend. So I know it's not the most ideal forecast for Halloween, but everyone have that umbrella rain jacket handy just in case you don't want to get stuck in a downpour. And of course, we'll continue to hope for prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe, happy, and healthy Sunday. And for those who celebrate, happy almost Halloween. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time celebrating with your friends and family. See you later.